Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitpack server. We are standing in front of the, we're flying in front of the mining mesa. We haven't been here for some time, have we? And occasionally I come over here to mine some blocks, but it just occurred to me that it's been a long time since we last did this. Look at this area though, it's kind of manky looking, right? This is because I've been over here digging out some blocks. And it's kind of awkward looking anyway because you've got this mine shaft that comes out to the surface and makes everything look a little bit janky, you know. Anyway, I was thinking we now have our Enderlink bags sorted out. So inside that one we had this one, and this is how we send items back into our storage system. We also have a crazy hammer that has been upgraded beyond belief, and we should be able to make a meal out of this place. I don't think I'm going to have instant mine. If I do, that'll be amazing. No instant mine, but I need a lot of clay for the build that we're going to do in this episode. Now, last episode we did a whole bunch of building, and I haven't read any of your feedback yet because that episode hasn't gone live. It just so happens sometimes when you're recording, your videos don't get to go out exactly when you want them to, but that's fine. I'm looking forward to your feedback on the last one, and what I thought we'd do this episode is try and avoid working on the same project too much, so I've got a little bit of a technical project in mind as well. But as of right now, I'm going to go ham on this mesa and get ourselves tons and tons of clay. So I made a meal out of this bit of mountain, and I was going to go ham for quite some time over here, and it's just occurred to me I brought no means to repair my hammer, which was, you know, a complete and utter derp. Typical me. So I guess we won't be here for too long, actually. I've probably got more than enough than I'll need for a long time anyway. Look at this. We're doing a lot of crafting right now. Crazy stuff. I noticed that our storage was very full. I think we're like literally down to having 1,000 or 2,000 left. So if we go stick our nose in here, that's full up. This one's got 500 left. That one's got 400. You know, very little left. 500 in there, and then it's going to fill up. So it's a good thing I checked up on that. The view of the base is just fantastic. Even when you're walking through it, it looks pretty spectacular as well. And I just want to keep expanding this thing at the moment. I'm so inspired to build. Love this little halfway lush area over here. You know what I mean. And I've just finished building up the area around our mob farm here. And I've got to say it looks a lot better now that there's a bit of structure nearby it. Because this thing itself is kind of plain. But putting this together didn't take that long at all. I've gotten so much better at building with chisel and bits, and I thought I'd share my tips with you just if I haven't made it clear. So when it comes to breaking these down, what I used to do is use the cube bit like this, and I would break a block down like so. You want to go on same material so you can just zap up the entire block into the bits and then place them. And then this positive chisel design is a lifesaver. Every little bit now that's repetitive, like these slabs or these little trims, I just use this thing to place it, and it makes your life so much easier. So putting all of this together, every little bit of chisel and bits was basically done with the positive chisel design. And so we've got our border, we've got some slabs. That's why I went to the mesa, just to place down a few more of those. And I'm thinking about using these materials right here on the grounds, because what I want to do now is make this bit here a little bit more interesting. One thing I will say though is that it looks pretty good with the sands down the bottom here, but I want to rip all of this out, going from the path to the farm and then from the farm to the wall over here. I want to rip every little bit out and then replace it with a pattern that's going to go in this area. So I was originally thinking of using that clay, but now I'm more tempted to use some sandstone textures because the yellow here actually looks really quite good. I think I was right. It doesn't really matter what colour you use here, it's just one colour too many. What's nice about this is there's kind of not a lot going on. Then you've got the green from the pillars, and it's quite simple to look at. So this noise on the ground is actually probably not what you want. So it's a nice idea to have a pattern here, but maybe not with colour. So we're going to try something a little bit different. Also, you can see how we've got this little bit sticking out there. I've sort of mirrored that on this side, and that just looks awkward for some reason. So what we're going to do is put some blaze lamps in here, and that's going to give a little bit of light in the area as well. So it looks a lot nicer when things are plain. However, the patterns on the ground, they don't really add too much, and I think this one actually looks the nicest, and it sort of matches the Midori. And then this one adds in some unnecessary noise, and the way that it kind of lines up with things, not terribly interesting. So I think I'm going to pull this texture out, and next time we look at this, it's going to be done as well. Right, that's that detail taken care of. The path is over by 2 blocks. I was sort of tempted to move it back a little bit so we could have this pattern be exact the whole way around, but do you know what? Not everything has to be perfectly symmetrical. Remember this place? Yeah, this dimension hasn't got the best of reputations with me right now. So, first of all, let's talk about this project. This is our villager farm, which I never quite figured out, and I think I got it to a point where I considered it fixed and then it broke again, but it's provided us with, stupid amounts of emeralds, so we've got no reason to worry about this right now. Now, I've just been recording in this dimension and building a farm because I had a really cool idea. Been inspired by Sky Factory and what me and Ren have been doing over there. And I wanted to build a passive mob farm down at the very bottom of a world. And of course, we've got a perfect environment, a void world right here. Thing is, I just got to this point after I'd shown you these cool fan blocks. And then I was like, hang on a minute. There's an overworld here. And this overworld has loads of grass in the spawn chunks, loads of animals in it, and you have to condition all of that to make a farm like this work, which is why nothing is spawning in it. Oh, it's such a great plan, and now it's all going to have to go in the bin. But I do want to show you this fan block because I think it's really cool. It pushes across by 16 blocks. It's not very fast, and that's why there were these little channels so that the mobs would get pushed down into them. But as you can see, you sort of get stuck in the stream that's pushing you across, so you fall down slowly. And an interesting side effect of that is being able to, well, if I could land on top of it. There it is, we're walking on the air. Looks pretty cool, right? Oh, I love the particle effects of this, by the way, but it's such a shame we're not going to use this. And you could use it for a hostile mob farm, turn this into a dark room. But the thing is, we've already got all of those drops kind of covered, so we don't really need it. So there's no point in building it. Oh, what a derp, man. What a derp. Just one little consideration, one thing I forgot about. I've been playing too much Sky Factory. So if we can't farm ourselves some passive mobs, well, there's something else that we could farm. And no, it's not squid, and no, it's not guardians. I'm thinking about fish right here. And finally, I've got myself a clownfish after fishing for a little while. We need one of those to make ourselves an automatic fishing net. And I think this thing took longer than usual because you've got all these modded things in here as well. But with a clownfish, we can make this, place in water, and give it a fishing rod. Alright? I think I used something like this before in Mod Source, and it's sort of like an automatic farm that does fishing for you. It's kind of what you would expect, and I thought that would actually be a cool project because then we'll get some more drops into our system, hopefully things that can be useful for future projects. So let's go up and craft one of these. And I got to make some chests. I could have swore I'd already done that. Are these different? They have to be trapped chests. Okay. So this is supposed to be a very simple process. I'm just going to put this in here in the water so that this thing is under the surface a little bit. Bam. Nice and easy to place. It might need air above it. The video that I watched showed air above it, but you put your fishing rod in here. Now this thing will probably make use, I'm guessing, of enchantments, right? And that could give us an incentive to create an automatic enchanting system that enchants fishing rods and brings them into this. Now, I want to also see how this interacts with Ender.io conduits and stuff like that to see if we can push and pull the items out of here. That would be really cool. But I'm thinking we need to figure out exactly where it is we want to build this. And I've kind of got an inkling for an idea of an underground base. If we turn on our night vision here, you'll see that there's this flat area down the bottom. And what we could do is use our swapping wand. Let's go grab that. Let's also place down one of these and convert it all into glass. Then we could go and dig underneath it and it could be the ceiling for a little underground factory that produces like automatic fishing. I think it's a really cool idea. It sounds good, so click on that and then using the wands. Wow, that looks weird. It's made our life easier, although we're going to need a lot more of that stuff. And remember, it glows as we learned in the last episode, so you can sort of see it from up here. So this part of the base is supposed to be an ongoing expansion of interfaces, and it's a little bit messy, and this is something I should have done some time ago actually. All our transmitters are now going to be in one spot together, which is really cool if ever we need to access them and change some of these things. So I got a receiver and a network card because of course we want access to our refined storage. Been crafting some fishing rods. We got 2 clownfishes, so we got 2 more of these. What we're going to do is hook them up to some Ender.io conduits and start getting the items in and out of our refined storage system, and then we can do stuff like automatically craft the fishing rods and send them into these things. That's been set up, so if we type fishing into here, there should be 16 rods. There's always going to be 16. If I take one of those out, another one will appear instantly. That's awesome. So we can use an exporter to send them into a chest, and then we're going to have Ender IO conduits take them up to the fisheries. And I was thinking we'll have them in a little bit of a grid. This might be too close together, but I've been doing some investigating, and it turns out that I think what we need to do is go up and over, because if we try and open this thing, it says needs to be water every side to below. So then I tried to connect it from the side, and that wouldn't work. What I reckon you have to do, and let's go up top to breathe, is we're going to break this first of all, is our little stem that we have here has to go out and across by 2 blocks, then it has to go down by 1. Well, actually, it might not need to go down by 1. Let's just bring it out 1 more block, and then put that there and see what happens. Will this one now fish? Yes, it will. Okay. So these have turned into little underwater trees, which look quite amusing to me. Let's turn on our night vision. Doesn't look as good when you do it like that, but it's also more visible. So I kind of like it. You can see something's going on down there. If you're standing over here at the Midori farm, it's looking pretty interesting actually. And we will build a room down there. We'll make the aesthetics nice. But I want to show you how this is set up. Let's go into night vision mode again. This is really smart. Recently I've been sort of catching on to how channels work with Ender IO. So these item conduits are all going to be set up the same. We're going to have a green one which is going to insert, so we're using in and out mode, and a brown channel that is going to extract. So let's activate this thing by turning off the redstone requirement. So if we follow the Ender IO conduit down below, you'll see it connects with the one on the other side. Now when we do build a room down here, the floor will be above this conduit, so you won't see it going down into this other area. And I want this to be like a walkway through to the base or somewhere else. And just here on the side we're going to have our terminal to access the refined storage, and below it we're going to have an import and an export access point. So this one right here is the importer, and you can see that it's using the brown channel. So those items that are being extracted on the brown channel up above are going to be inserted into our system down here. And then on the other side, we've got the exporter, and that's going to use the green channel to extract items from this exporter. How cool is that? So this thing we're going to configure up to basically export fishing rods, and I think that thing is like ready to go now. In fact, it should technically be, well, no, because it hasn't been connected to this thing. And there we go. So now it should automatically be sending these up to the top, these fishing rods. And anyway, I got a clownfish and a pufferfish from that, so let's craft up a couple more of the fishing nets, and we'll see it work. So green is the insert channel. Let's just configure it. We want them both in and out. Green going in, brown going out, and then this thing is ready to go. It hasn't got a fishing rod yet though. It might take it a little bit of time to make its way up here. Okay, I've got the import working a charm at the moment. It's the export that's not doing too much. So these all have fishing rods in, and when they run out, another one comes in. And what I had to do is put a chest between the importer and the item conduit like this. We may have to do the same thing for the exporter, which might not be, or sorry, might be why that's not working, right? Because I've just been going up there and installing some of these upgrades. So actually, yeah, let's try and put a chest here first of all. Right, so this chest would suggest that as soon as it sends up a fishing rod, it tries and exports the same fishing rod, because there are 2 sets of inventories, and I'm hoping it can look into the second one. If it can't, we might be in a little bit of a bother. So what we're going to have to do is make a item filter and make it a blacklist for fishing rods, and then we shouldn't get them coming down here. Well, this sucks. It looks like they don't interact with the second upgrade. Nothing is coming into here now that we're filtering, or sorry, blacklisting those fishing rods, which means that the fish are going to fall on top of the glass, which could actually be a good thing, especially if they fall down consistently in a straight line. Then what we might do is have it so they can fall down into this room and just collect it with a vacuum hopper or a regular hopper somewhere down here, and then lead it into that chest. So then it'll be a bit more visual. There'll be something to look at. I think that'll actually end up being really good. And it also means whenever I come over here, my inventory is going to get full up with fish, which is what has been happening about every, I don't know, minute or 2 minutes I go down there and empty my inventory of fish. Man, this is starting to get annoying. Every couple of seconds, bam, something comes into your inventory. Doesn't matter. Anyway, what we're going to do is create a block that will stop the water flowing. So it's going to be like a trim of pixels around the outside. And if we stare at this block here, you're going to see how I'm going to do it. So we're going to chisel into the corners like this, and this large cube just happens to line up so that we can chip away everything at the middle, which is really cool. Now if we go to the connected pane one, connected material, I think that's the same thing. Let's go with that one there. Aha, there you go. We can chisel downwards, and then somewhere there should be the end of the glass. There it is. Excellent. And now that is a block. I wonder if I can fit into this. That should, yeah, look at that. It should stop the water and allow the items to go through. It's kind of hard to stay in there though. Look at that. Hold down shift. No, it just pops me back out. There we go. Oh, and there's a creeper coming. Got to watch out for that guy. Hey, stay away you. Stay away. We're experimenting with glass. Right, now I've also got my positive chisel, and there is still just endless stuff coming in here. So we need to reset that in the crafting bench, and then give it a little click here, change it to that design. So if we stand directly underneath that one right there, replace this block, the water's going to flow in, don't worry about it, and then put you there. No, I did that wrong, didn't I? Hang on. Let's go back a step. That one? Excellent, excellent. Okay, so I should be able to fit through there. Excellent, and go up into the water. Can I get back down? I can. Now the question is, are the items going to drop into there? As you can see, we got, they're sort of not above that, or below it, sorry. That's kind of worrying. Perhaps they don't fall straight downwards. Look at this. There's a few items up here now that I can't pick up. If we stand where the item is and look directly up, you can see that they're coming out to the side. They're coming out at different angles, unfortunately. Hey, stand still, look upwards, and now breathe before you die. Right, it's done. We can get to aesthetics now. That kind of took a lot longer than I thought it would, but there is a slight catch, which is now we're going to have these vacuum chests sucking the items up after they pop out from these, and that means that this is going to have to stay full of these items. You can't go and put your own items into it. So let's say, hey, actually I want to farm leather and pufferfish. What I'm going to have to do is take them out and hope that the next items to go into here won't be either of those, because when those do come through, they're going to pop out. It's a little bit of a strange system, and eventually those items will become stacks as well. And when they are stacks, then it means, like clownfish for example, I want, that any new ones coming in will pop off. So it's not perfect, but it will end up working. And these, by the way, are just on the brown circuit as well, so everything was set up for them. So down below we have our importers and exporters working just as we wanted to, and that means we're done with setting up these Ender IO conduits for now, and we can focus on building a cool looking room down here. So we are going to take the shape of this room and just roll with it. I've put it in these trodden stone bricks at the, well, they're not bricks, are they? It's just, well, they are. They're trodden bricks. Okay. Well, they're going to be the slabs at the top and the bottom of the room. And as you can see, that glass that we initially put in the ceiling, that is the shape of the room. And we're going to have flat walls on this thing, and I have no idea what material we're going to use. Not terribly exciting, I know. There's really not going to be a lot of detail in this room. I do have one cool idea, though. These are just 5 blocks picked out from chisel. These ones, those ones. I'm sure you're not terribly bothered which ones they are. And, oh yeah, over here I made a mistake with the slab, so I've got to fix that. But now we're going to put the floor in, and this is where I want to bring a little bit of colour into this room. What this room really needs is more of an idea. You know, when I set out to do this fishing farm thing, I had no idea what would unfold before us, and this is what we've ended up with, and I don't know what to put in the middle of this room. But when it comes to the floor, got a carpet design that looks cool. I also thought clay was quite nice, so we'd throw that down in the middle. It's a little bit boring. If you have any ideas for something that could go in here, like an object or something that would make sense of these conduits, then please do share it with me, because at the moment I'm kind of feeling like, yeah, it looks alright, but it's really unspectacular. But we are going to spice this room up a little bit, and I was going to build a tunnel going down to the end, but my playtime at the moment is running really, really short, and I want to show you what's going on down the end here. So I started to dig a staircase going down, and it was going to be quite a long staircase, and I thought we're not going to probably walk through it very often. And then I thought, hey, why don't we use an elevator? This is modded. But it turns out the pack doesn't have the elevator that you make out of wool and ender pearls, which kind of sucks because that one is a lot easier to use than the RF Tools one. Although the RF Tools one is animated, so we'll probably end up building that. But in this room I do have one cool idea that I've been itching to do, and it involves item frames. Now these ones have been crafted to be light blue. This is from Quark, and you can see a little bit of blue colour. Makes a match to the blue room, really, doesn't it? Now, we're going to run into walls where it's going to be placed like odd. There's 2 on that side, 1 on that side. That's kind of unavoidable at the moment, I think, and we'll just kind of roll with it. But you're probably wondering what I'm going to put in these item frames, and if you think about what this place is, it might become obvious. We're going to put all the different types of fish into it. I think I might just skip that wall, put 2 there. It doesn't have to be a perfect pattern. So if we go into here and just type raw is the word you can type to find all the different types of fish. We've got catfish, we've got a char. Some of these I probably don't know how to say, some raw tuna. There's loads of them, and what I want to do is put 1 of each. And I think we'll focus on the ones that aren't vanilla as well, because the textures look slightly different, but they will certainly match one another. So these are like our fish that we've caught and strung up, but not really. Hey, there was a little bit of lag then. I clicked and nothing happened. Now, wait a minute, something's off here. So if I rotate it, take it out, and it goes back in rotated. Fair enough. I don't know what to make of that. Gotta say, I love the look of these pixel arts for the fish. And all of them but 1 are in here. And the least interesting one has been put into this spot. But all of them have like at least, 1 stone on either side. If I were to change that, I'd have room for more. But I feel like it would look odd if they were kind of hanging on the edge, Let's slap 1 up there. Yeah, that don't look right to me. So I think it's worked out pretty well. And I like that we've gone for like just an odd shape for the room. It makes it something a little bit different. But the item frames, they bring a bit of life to this room, don't they? But this project has been a strange one. But I do hope you have enjoyed yourself this episode, because that is all that I have time for today. So if you enjoyed it, leave a like and leave some feedback down below. As always, appreciate reading your comments. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.